Hey, good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Connie. I'm Connie Fuksa with Foote Title Group, where we protect your home ownership. So, I try to talk to you guys about things that come up during closings or questions that I get from individuals. And a lot of times I don't get questions. And so I talk about things that I've had questions about at the closing table or throughout the process. But today I wanted to talk about a question that came to me from the crowd. I love it when there is actually a question from somebody who's watched one of our broadcasts and reaches out to me and asks some more detailed questions. And so today that's what we're talking about. Hey there, Miss Pam. How are you this morning? Thanks for tuning in. And if you're online, say hi. Let me know if you have questions. I love that. That really helps out everybody else that's watching because maybe they're having the same questions that you are. So let me know that you're on watching and maybe that you have a question. So the comment today or the talk today that we're going to have is about selling your home and who is actually on the title to that property. So let's talk first for a second about the title so you understand what that means. Hey there, Angela. How are you? One of my other regular subscribers. I really appreciate you tuning in. So the title is the ownership chain of the property. So when you talk about a title to a car, you're talking about a piece of paper that shows that you own it, if you have a loan against it, and when you purchased it, and the details about the vehicle. The title to a piece of property is the chain of all of the owners and all of the things that they did while they owned that property, back as long as that property existed. So a title is actually a package of information about that piece of property, and it brings to date who the actual owner is now, and if they have a mortgage, if they owe anybody, if they have any liens against the property. Also, any things that they have agreements about that property would be in that title. So the title is a package of information about the ownership of that property, unlike where in a vehicle you're talking about one piece of paper. So the piece of paper in the title world that actually transfers the ownership from one person to another is called a deed. And we'll talk about that more in length in another conversation. But what I really wanted to hit on today is let's talk about who actually owns the property that you own, who are the owners, because this came up recently for us, and this was a question that I got. We had an older couple that owned a piece of property that are trying to sell it, and they went to sell the property, and the title search is done, and we reviewed the title. Come to find out, they had added their children on the ownership of that property at some time back in their maybe estate planning process, and they were trying to make sure that their children were included in that ownership so that if something happened to them, they automatically own the property. Well, at some point later, they had planned that they were going to sell the property, so they deeded off all of their children, or what they thought they did. And unfortunately, one of the children was not included in that, and I think it was a mistake because at the time they were at odds with that child. I don't know if it was intentional or not intentional. Honestly, from the conversations, we think it wasn't intentional, that they just weren't in constant conversation with that person and forgot that that person was on the ownership. And the person who did the deed for them didn't point out, hey, if your intent is to remove everybody from the property except the two of you because you're going to sell it, then you're missing somebody. But that didn't happen. And so about a year later, when they decided, or when they put the house on the market and they were selling it, then they went to the title company and said, all right, we need to do a title search so that we can go through the process and we can sell this property. One of the children was still listed on the ownership, and that child had never signed off their interest. Now, they are still estranged, so you have people that aren't talking to each other, and you have a child that an adult child. When I say child, we're talking about an adult child in this situation that hasn't signed off on that ownership. And the only way that these people can sell their property is for that adult child to sign off on the property. So my lesson to you in this is understand what you're doing when you're going to add people, remove people from that ownership. A lot of people do these things for estate planning purposes, and that's great to do. And we can talk about that in length I'm not an estate planner. I'm not an attorney, but we can talk about some of those nuances and how it affects your ownership at any time that you want to do that. But the thing is, make sure that you understand when you add someone to that ownership, they now own that property too. And so in order for you to do anything with that property, they need to either be involved or be removed from that ownership. So that's really the lesson here. Hey, Wendy, how are you? It's not as complicated as more the pointing out, trust the people that you're working with to make sure that your interest, what you want to have done, is taken care of. Number one, that's why you need to work with a title company that you have done some research on and that you understand knows your scenario and what you want to do, and has a really good track record. Again, as I've said lots of times, choosing a title company is more important than just allowing someone to give you a referral and walking in the door and letting them take care of it, because you don't know that that company has the resources or the capabilities of taking care of the things that you need. So the piece I really want to get to on this is your ownership is who you added and removed from that property for whatever reasons. Make sure that when you're going to do some things with your property, you understand the ramifications and you understand what you can and can't do once you add someone to that property and once you remove someone's name from that property, how it affects your ownership and what you're able to do at a later point. So maybe a little bit complicated. That's why you trust some professionals that know what they're doing, and make sure you do your research on who's helping you with those processes. And if you have other questions, please feel free to reach out to me or any of our team members. In Maryland and Virginia, we are very well versed on what those processes are, and so we certainly are able to help you and want to help you with those types of things. And this was truly a question that came to us from a particular customer that we were working with that had a lot of questions. And so I thought, wow, what a great opportunity to share this information with you guys. So if you have more questions, reach out to me through this. You can email us. All of our team's contact information is on our website, footetitlegroup.com, and we would love to help you with whatever we can, answer any of those questions, and ultimately help you with your closing and protecting your home ownership. So go to our website, check out all the resources that are on our website, get on our mailing list so you can monthly get those resources that we are constantly updating that'll probably answer a lot of these questions for you too. www.footetitlegroup.com. And thank you, Wendy. That's very kind. Well, I try really hard. I don't know all the answers, but I've been doing this for a while, so hopefully I can help answer some questions or find the right answers for you. So that's my purpose and my mission, is to educate you guys so that you're better educated consumers and that you know what your resources are that are available to you. So I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Stay warm out there on this third day of spring. I love talking to you. Thank you so much for tuning in to Coffee with Connie, and I'll talk to you real soon. I'm Connie Fuksa with Foote Title Group, where we protect your home ownership. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.